Hey YouTube, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. You see my Panda hobby Sport Tetra K1 here. After more than 1 year in its box, I picked it up again, and probably you will ask yourself why you wanna present us a video with the awesome new ASX24-Crawler ESC from Modellbauregler.de with this truck. Well, some days ago somebody wrote a comment under my video of the ASX24, and here you can see this message. I just installed one of these ASX24 to a Panda Hobby Tetra 18X1T. I don't have a Panda Hobby Tetra 18X1T. I do only have the Panda Hobby Sport Tetra K1 you see here, but they work more or less all the same. Bad, as we know. Bad gearing, weak motor. I'm not sure that the low speed torque is much improved. So that's where I stopped first. What? It's impossible that the low speed modulation is not improved. Installing the ASX24 ESC, however, as we all know, the Panda Hobby Tetra trucks, the 1 to 18th and also the 1 to 24th, they will never be good crawlers. So the low speed modulation of course has to be improved extremely with this new ESC, but of course no chance a Panda Hobby truck will ever be a perfect crawler as you can do it with the SCX24s. So I thought I have to answer this question. Let's go on. What is the most noticeable part is that the car makes no whining noise anymore, of course. That's a good part of the ASX24 ESCs. And it came with some disadvantages. What? It's good to know them in order to decide if it's worth the money. That's true, of course. And I wanted to answer this comment in public, but unfortunately it's not here anymore. I don't know why. First, with 3S LiPo it gets very hot. You cannot keep the finger on one of the chips. I thought that's impossible. You cannot keep the finger on one of the chips. The MOSFETs, what's getting warm normally is the BSC. The MOSFETs on 3S, I did run it on 3S without any problems, but we will see. I guess that a lot of the battery power will be lost due to this heat, I guess. Second, brake is applied only after about 2 to 3 seconds. Okay. We will see. The Panda Hobby has a very strange gearing. So going on a steep incline, the car will go backwards if you stop. Okay. This will be because of the gearing and the motor of the Panda Hobby truck. The ASX24 of course does not have an active drag brake. It is much worse than it is with the original ESC. What? For sure not. It cannot be worse. It can in maximum be equal, but we will see. And third, the rear lights for brake and going backward are no longer working because the receiver receives only 5 or 6 volts and it thinks that the battery is depleted. That's puzzling for me. I don't understand this. But my lights work. I don't have rear lights in the K1. I know other Panda Hobby trucks do have this. However, my front lights work also with the ASX24, but I don't understand really what he wants to say, and I don't think that the BSC of the Panda Hobby ESC does have higher voltage, so I will check this. So it was a quite strange message and I wanted to reply in public, but now this message isn't here anymore. So I don't know why. I did not delete it. probably the author of the message did delete this message. However, I'm interested in the problems, and that's why I picked my Panda Hobby Tetra K1 and tested all these things. Maybe he's right, maybe there's something strange. I'm super interested in this stuff, how some things work and how they don't work and why they don't work. And now you will ask yourself, if the message isn't here anymore, why do you have this message? Well, after the author wrote this message and I got the email notification and read it, I copied it and sent it to a buddy of mine to tell him, hey, come on, check it. The first one's complaining, and he answered, yes, of course, always anyone is complaining. So that's why I do have this message still. I copied it to WhatsApp to my buddy, and that's where I copied it now to show it to you. However, I thought, okay, let's make a short video and see if the author is right. And that's what we will do now. We have the Panda Hobby K1 here in absolutely stock configuration. I have a voltmeter here. We will check the voltage of the Panda Hobby BEC. I have, of course, an ASX24-Crawler ESC here, and we will compare the low speed modulation and the driving performance of the Panda Hobby with original stock ESC and with the ASX24. And I do have a 3S LiPo here, and I will bash the Panda Hobby truck with a 3S LiPo several minutes, and then we will check the temperature and see if it's really so hot. I never had this problem. So that's what we will do in this video, and that's why I made a video of the ASX24-Crawler ESC in the Panda Hobby Tetra. I would have replied after testing to the message and probably not have made a video, but now don't do a lot of videos actually. Let's do a short video. First, let's do the problem with the lights. So I will take the body off and also pull out the lights, and let's check if the BEC of the Panda Hobby ESC does have higher voltage than 5 volts, and therefore let's take the voltmeter. Now let's connect it to the Panda Hobby ESC or the receiver ESC unit, based on channel 2. Wow, you see 5 volts as the ASX24 does have. I will show this to you later, but that's in the specifications. So the voltage cannot be the reason for the rear lights not working anymore. Same voltage with the ASX24 ESC as in stock form. Since I do not have a Panda Hobby with rear lights and stop lights, I don't know how this works, but I assume that on channel 2, what's throttle but not used here, there is a wire plugs to a light controller, and this light controller will control the rear lights and maybe a stop light, and therefore it needs the signal of the channel 2 of throttle input, forward reverse, otherwise this would not work. And that's the normal way, as in nearly all cars with small receivers with only 2 channels. And if the light controller does not get a signal of throttle, because this is now blocked by the ASX24, of course rear lights won't work anymore. But there's a super simple solution for this. If there's a light controller, please guys tell me if the Panda Hobbies with rear lights do have a light controller. As you do in nearly every other car, use simply a Y cable. So Y cable on channel 2, plug it in, and 2 outputs. One for the ESC, for the ASX24, and the other one for the light controller, and rear lights should work as they did before. A different voltage for sure is not the reason that the rear and stop lights don't work anymore when using the ASX24. And now let's check his second problem, the not much better speed modulation or low speed modulation. I am first doing the test on speed 3, so highest speed, as I would always do normally. And that's the Panda in stock form. Check my index finger on high speed. You hear the whining noise. And I have to pull, and then it goes, and no real slow crawl possible. That's not only a matter of the ESC, but also of the motor and the gearing, you see, and then it rolls not super slow. And climbing a super simple step on high speed, check my finger, I'm nearly on, opa, I was nearly on full speed. Let's do this again. It's not easy. I try to go as it's not easy to stop on the obstacle. Can I do it? Yes, I can do it, but as you all know, super bad low speed modulation. And now let's go to the lowest speed, speed 1, where you should have better low speed modulation. And now check my index finger. Check this. How far I did already pull the throttle. And check this, I'm nearly on full throttle. I'm nearly on full throttle, unbelievable. And now, nearly full throttle, and now it starts. And I want to climb this obstacle, and now I'm on full throttle, and it still doesn't climb. Check this. Unbelievable. So super weak. Try again. Lowest speed, that's for nothing. You can't use this. Check this. Now it does climb. Full speed. Now it does not climb. Now it does climb. Okay, and now let's check it on medium speed. Still more than half of the throttle and climbing. I'm nearly on full throttle. I'm on full throttle. So super bad, as we all know. Let's try it again. Panda Hobby Tetra 1/18 in stock form. Okay, I can't stop. And what will we do now? We will use the ASX24-Crawler ESC. Installation is simple. Plug the motor out, plug the motor to the ESC, correct plug of course, and plug the servo wire to channel 2. And that's it. And plug in the battery, and I even didn't calibrate throttle now. And go. So now the Panda Hobby Tetra 1/18 with the ASX24-Crawler ESC. Not much better, I don't know. Check my index finger. Check when it starts. I'm on which speed now? I was on medium speed. I go to the highest speed again, and now check my index finger. a little bit of throttle and it does already start. On high speed and can go much slower, and still not really good low speed modulation, of course. That's because of the motor and the gearing, but a huge difference. So I can climb and stop on the obstacle. Check my finger, I don't have to give full throttle. Still not perfect, but a huge difference to the stock ESC. I really don't know how the guy who commented didn't see a big difference. And now we will check it on lowest speed, what I would never do, because this means much less power. That's dual rate, so you see nothing works. So that's for nothing, and that's worse, even worse than in stock form. But there's a reason why, for example, XL in the new V2 electronics doesn't have this 3-speed with dual rate anymore. You need power. So once again, no noise, and you see it starts of a bit of throttle input, and so a huge difference. And let's do it again in stock form. Out, out, out. Motor in and battery in, and now check the difference again. Noise nearly uncontrollable, and again with the ASX24. Much too fast already on 2S. This truck is much too fast, and you can give a slow but not super slow Panda hobby. So you see it's already super fast on 2S. How fast will it be on 3S? So I put the 2S lithium ion battery out and will use this Nanotech 3S 370 milliamp hours LiPo now, and we'll check how it runs on 3S. So battery in, and now the Panda Hobby Tetra with the ASX24 on 3S. Still maybe even better controllable, but you know, I'm not on full speed, and on 3S the Panda, it's a race truck, and I will run it now for 5 minutes on 3S, but not here on the floor. And then we will check the temperature of the ESC. If it's really so hot you can't put your finger on it, I will measure the temperature and then we will see. And here it is now with the 3S LiPo, my Panda Hobby Tetra with the ASX24-Crawler ESC. I will bash it now here on this nearly 48-degree incline for about 5 minutes. Of course, I will speed up the video. I will show you the time. And of course, I won't do it that way. It's a racer. On 3S, I will put the canopy on so nobody can complain. More heat with canopy, better cooling without. So here it is with canopy. Let's start the timer and run it for about 5 minutes. Man, it's a beast on 3S, and now 5.5 minutes. Check the timer, and now let's check the temperature. If it's really that hot. Body clip. Where are they? I can easily put my finger on it, and now let's measure the temperature. (35.6 degrees Celsius), 39.9, 35. Let's check the MOSFETs, the chips. It's not hot at all. Okay, maybe if you would race it on a race on full throttle for 10 minutes, but that's not an ESC for racing. 29 only. 42, I hope you can see it, 42.4 degrees Celsius, so not even hand warm. My Haley ESCs and motors run up to 70-80 degrees Celsius. What's the motor temperature? 21? 20? Yeah, the motor is cool. Not cool, but... And the ESC 30, no, it's already cooled down, so not hot at all. I really don't know what the problems of this guy were with his Tetra. Maybe the drivetrain isn't running smooth and the ESC does have to work really hard all the time, and that is why it runs hot. But this truck on 3S is an absolutely beast, but still nice to control with the ASX24 on low speed. So maybe even more fun than with the 2S lithium ion. But it falls often during turns because of the no differentials, locked differentials. However, 3S, that's an option. And now let's come to the last problem of the poster. 3S LiPo out, 2S lithium ion in again, stock Panda Hobby Tetra ESC electronics, no ASX24 now. That's here. And let's check, the guy complained that the truck doesn't stop on steep inclines. I hope you can see it. That's nearly 48 degrees now here, and it's much worse than with the stock ESC. So it rolls, no drag brake. I know the Panda Hobby doesn't have a lot of drag brake because that's of the motor and the gearing and not of the ESC. And now let's check it with the original stock ESC and electronics. Here I go up. It rolls, 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 does not stop at all with stock electronics. Come on. So I let it down. It rolls, 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 does not stop at all with stock electronics, stock ESC. And this should be much better than the ASX24. The ASX24 can't be worse. Let's try it in reverse too. Come on. Stock electronics, Panda. Panda Hobby Tetra stock electronics. And rolls, rolls, rolls. No stop at all. And now let's do the same with the ASX24. And now let's do it with the ASX24-Crawler ESC and check if the performance, the brake is worse with this ESC than it is with the stock ESC. It can't be worse because rolling is rolling. So let's check. It even stops. So it does have a little bit of drag brake. Check this out. So rolling, 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 and stops. It's not worse, it's much better. I don't know what truck, what Panda Hobby the guy who made this comment has, but check it out. It stops. It did not stop with the stock ESC. Never. And with the ASX24-Crawler, it even stops. So it does have a little bit of drag brake. However, Panda Hobby Tetra will never be a truck with a lot of drag brake because of its gearing. In reverse, it rolls, 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 and it stops. Rolls, 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 and it stops. So I really don't know what the problems of the guy who made this comment were. First problem, lights, rear lights don't work. The stock BC does have 5 volts, as does have the ASX24-Crawler ESC, so no problem. Because of this, maybe a Y cable will help. I don't have a Panda Hobby Tetra with light controller. Probably the light controller needs the signal of channel 2 of throttle, so a Y cable could solve this problem. Then not much improved low speed performance or force, power. I could not see this. There was a big improvement. However, the Panda Hobby Tetra will never be a top crawler 3S. The ASX24 worked perfectly on 3S and didn't get hot at all. 40 degrees after 5 minutes bashing, that's nothing. Probably his truck does have some problems in the drivetrain. It's not running smooth, so the motor should be super hot too then. And finally, you see it when going steep inclines down or up. The ASX24 ESC does stop the Panda Hobby truck and the stock ESC does not. Of course, I would have answered this comment. It's not here anymore. Maybe the guy sees this video and maybe this video helps. Here it is, ASX24-Crawler ESC in a Panda Hobby Tetra. Would I recommend to buy it for the Tetra? No, not really. It's not super cheap, it's quite expensive. It's made in Germany and the Panda Hobby will never be a really good crawler. However, it's a big improvement, of course. Anyway, the ESCs are sold out actually. the global chip shortage is a big problem. Modelbar Regler DE could only get 200 chips processors for the first batch, and the first batch of 200 was sold out immediately, and now they could get somewhere, I don't know where in the world, 100 more, but not more than 100 more chips. And this seems to be super, super difficult, not depending on money. So they have 100 more. They will be available maybe in a week. And then he told me it's such a big problem. It seems to be impossible to get chips actually. So hopefully this chip shortage will end soon. So that's it for this video. A special video about the ASX24-Crawler and the Panda hobby, but I will not do a video with this awesome ESC in all of the trucks as I did last year. Check my videos from last year with the AS12-6RW and the AS12-15, and with the ASX24-Crawler, that's the same. The ASX24-Crawler is only a little bit better, even a little bit better modulation, and of course a much better BEC and low voltage cutoff and all this stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next video. I'll be back.